just in reply to your comments about the process in this baking the bread, being able to assess exactly how much to put in there. Well, you can see, if you look hard, you'll see that the dough has risen to a certain extent, and I've added three tablespoons of flour. It'll take another one, so that's 4. So I've started with 2, now I've got 4. And so this is what is the initial process, the routine for making this sour bread without discarding anything, so that you don't waste anything. And I'll show you the end result shortly. So you can see the consistency. That's about the consistency for bread. It's quite tight. It does slacken off a wee bit, but if you give it a real hard mix, you'll develop the gluten in the flour and you'll get a bit of lift. But for the initial stages, the mixing isn't so important, just as long as you combine the flour with the water and the sour that you've already got in there. And I'm going to clean this bowl up, but I can't film and mix at the same time. So that was about 2 minutes mixing. I'll give it another 2 minutes, scrape the sides and leave it for another 24 hours. But we're getting colder now, the weather temperature's dropping, so it may take longer. But once the dough has risen, that's when you know to add. So that's the second mix. And the third mix will be twice that amount, and there's your bread. So what I do is I retain a teaspoonful for the next process, for the next loaf of bread, and start the process all over again. So it takes me approximately 3 days to get through a loaf of bread. This is googlemo.com. If you hit the like button and subscribe, then we can spread the news about how to bake bread at home without wastage. Bread is expensive. Good bread is expensive. And this bread here, this dough here, is fermented, naturally fermented, and which opens up all the trace elements and minerals, and it releases all its nutrients from the flour. Regardless of the bleaching process, it still doesn't get it all out. So there is something there, and that's what fermentation does, and it's really good for you. It agrees with your gut.